Okay, so welcome to my Udemy course that I made on YouTube API using Python, and I think this is the best introduction for YouTube API, and we're gonna build the famous, like, if you don't know who is Tom Scott is, like, he made a video about this video has a number and views, something like that. And yeah, so Tom Scott explained how web evolved in this 2 decade and 3 decade in total, and he explained this, and we're gonna build this type of content. And like Mr. Beast, you see Mr. Beast content, like he make a thumbnail and update it. Same on Tom Scott, he update her title, and we're gonna build this on this, already build this. So we're gonna get our view, likes and dislike and comments, when we gonna generate our own thumbnail. And yeah, so that's our what we're gonna build on this course. Anyway, you can get the code for free if you don't want to buy my course. And yeah, so maybe some of you don't know how API, you don't have much time to read this thing. Like, it can overwhelm you. I'm not gonna lie, it can overwhelm you anyway. Like, you don't have much time to learn this thing. Like, I think the best way to learn the YouTube API is just to build a project about that. And if you build a project on that, so it will not get you bored or anyway, and you got the end result, like you understand the API works. And so you can reuse the code, and most of my code are very short, like 30 line or 50 line of codes. And yeah, you can easily modify this, you can get it on my GitHub. And yeah, so this is the introduction of my course. Anyway, we're gonna build like 3 project. One project is how to make this content. We're gonna update our title, thumbnail, create our thumbnail. And yeah, so that's it. And the second project we're gonna build is how to auto likes and how to auto comments. So those are 3 projects we're gonna build on this course. And yeah, so that's the introduction. You can get the code for free if you want. If you don't want to watch my entire course, it's up to you. And yeah, so okay, so this is the project number 1 demo that we're gonna build. So it's a it's a YouTube API. What we're gonna learn, so there's a four that we're gonna learn on this one, and how to get the video statistic, and how to update our title, how to update our thumbnail, and how to create our thumbnail. So those are four that we're gonna learn for this one. This part we're gonna get long. That's our first project. And if you click this, and yeah, so the title, the thumbnail, the like and dislike and the comment, we're gonna get those statistics, and we're gonna put it on our thumbnail. Very straightforward. And yeah, so this is my demo for our project number 1. Okay, so this is the demo for project number 2. What we're gonna build, so we're gonna build a project that auto comment our 10 latest video. And yeah, let's just start it. And I'm gonna run this thing first, so very straightforward. And yeah, so we're gonna auto comment our video. And yeah, so if I refresh this, I'm gonna get a new comments. And yeah, so this is the demo. It's a nuclear nuke, so we can create a nuclear nuke on comment section like this. And yeah, so we're done on the project number 2 demo. So yeah, okay, so this is the project number 3 demo. And yeah, let's start. I'm gonna demonstrate this how it works. And yeah, so we're gonna make a auto like on YouTube. So we're gonna auto like our video per day. And how we gonna do this? So I'm gonna do the demo first. I'm gonna run this. So if you see this, so if you go to your YouTube and go to the sidebar, so you can go to your like video or something like that. You can do that on this hamburger. Go to the like video. You see 552. So we're gonna auto like and we're gonna enter this. So it will like our latest 10 video. And yeah, just watch 552. And yeah, I'm gonna refresh this. Okay, 562. So we like our latest 10 video on my channel. So this is how we gonna automation. This is so very powerful. If you ask me, you can auto like your video easily. And yeah, I'm done on the demo number 3. And you can get the code for this for free anyway if you wanna see the source code first before you gonna buy the course. And yeah, so I'm gonna give you the link for this one. You can get it for free if you want. And yeah, see you in the course if you're gonna buy the course. And yeah, thank you who gonna buy the course anyway. Okay, so before you buy on the course, you can get this for free. And yeah, I think it's up to you anyway if you wanna pay this course. And yeah, so let's start it. You can get all the code on my GitHub. And you can go on my YouTube channel if you don't wanna buy this. And you can get free. You just subscribe to me. I think it's fair. If you click this is a video 214 view or something like that. If you go that, and if you go to my description for this, and I make a tutorial how to make this thing separately. And if you have time, you can combine those all and create this project easily. And it's on the description anyway. YouTube API video, all of this are here, so you can learn that separately. You can go to my YouTube channel and learn it separately for free anyway. It's up to you if you want to buy the course, and absolutely okay on that, as long as you're gonna like or subscribe or something like that. And one thing, there's no such thing as free lunch anyway. And yeah, so see you in the course. If you're gonna buy, I appreciate you buy the course. If you're not, I'm still okay on that too. And yeah, see you on the course. And let's just start it. Okay, so don't use the code on the bad way. And yeah, so before we go to the course, so okay, so on YouTube, it's become the mainstream of YouTube anyway. If you know this knowledge, like compared to the normal, like don't have programming knowledge or something like that, how they do this thing. And yeah, so you can abuse this thing like to the craziest thing as you can imagine. If you ask me, like for example, I'm gonna give you a better example. So don't use this code for harassing or something. I don't promote that. You see this, like I'm updating my comments because it's running on my server right now. And yeah, so like I have a 10 bots running on my server. Like I can put 1,000 bots out there if I want to, but it gonna takes me a time to set up all of that. That's what you're gonna learn on this tutorial anyway. You can auto comment or something like that. So okay, so what I'm saying, that don't use this code for like harassing people, like you're gonna auto comment or somebody else. I don't recommend it using this for harassing people. Like if you're on YouTube, well known that harassing on YouTube, that's why Lippy is banned on here. If you don't know, Lippy is like famous YouTuber out there, like commentary, like you can spam everywhere. I don't wanna make a YouTube apocalypse 3.0 or something like that gonna create controversy, like abuse YouTube API or something like that. I don't want that to happen anyway. That's gonna like auto dislike thing, like well, I don't like that to happen anyway. And yeah, so don't use this code for like to the extreme level or something. Like, you see this, like it's updating. Like I set up this on this time. Every day it will auto comment and likes or something like that. You can dislike if you want to. So don't use this code on the bad way. Like if you see on the famous YouTube like PewDiePie, you're gonna see a comment like, can I have 1,000 subscriber without a video or something like that. You're gonna see that a lot. That this is the way. Okay, so why they do that? Because they can sell the account for money. Do you know how some channel, if you go search it, buy a YouTube account or something like that, you can buy YouTube account like with 4,000 watch view and subscriber. And yeah, so that's it. So don't use this code from that purpose. It's only for learning. That's why I make this course anyway. And yeah, so this is my take on this one. Don't use this code and don't harass, don't anything stupid or crazy or something like that. This is only for educational purpose or something. And yeah, so let's go to the course. Okay, so before we start in our course, so this is the introduction for Google Cloud Platform. And yeah, I'm gonna explain what we're gonna do in the next part. But the Gmail we're gonna use is on our main YouTube or something like that we're gonna use. So I'm gonna give you why you should use your main channel Gmail and to your Google Cloud Platform. And yeah, let's just start that. So basically on Google Cloud Platform, you're gonna use your YouTube channel Gmail account for that, because if you're gonna upload a like only the owner of your channel have the authorization to upload thumbnail in YouTube, and I don't wanna make another explanation for that. So that's the reason only. And you cannot, like if you go to your channel and go to your setting, you're gonna see like not community permission. If you go to the permission, you're gonna see the owner, and you can change your another you can invite somebody to be your manager, editor, and editor limited. But if you have another account like editor or manager or something like that, they cannot upload, they can only edit. So the only person who can upload to the channel is the owner. And even you, the access level, if you try to be manager or editor, you cannot upload thumbnail or something like that, you can only edit. So that's my only explanation for that. We're not gonna make another account to be our editor or something like that, to edit or something. No, we already explained this. I don't want to make this over complicated. We're gonna use our Gmail owner of our YouTube channel. And yeah, that's it. That's the introduction for that one. So yeah, see you in the next part. Okay, so we're gonna create our new project on Google Cloud Platform. And yeah, let's start it. So first you're gonna go to the consolecloud.google.com with your email account, with the same on YouTube. If you access that, we're gonna create our first project by clicking on this one on here. So new project, let's say Udemy or something like that, anything. It's kind of, let's say how to update YouTube or something like that. For this one, I'm gonna name this Udemy so I can track what I create. So create, and yeah, so we create our first project on our Google Cloud platform. So if you click this, go to the Udemy, click that, and yeah, so that's how you're gonna create your first new project on Google Cloud platform. And yeah, see you in the next part. And yeah, so in this part we're gonna get our API key in Google Cloud platform. First you're gonna click the navigation menu and API service, and enable API service, and find YouTube data B3 or something like that. Click this and enable. Okay, we enable the YouTube API and API and service dashboard. So on this one we're gonna create our credential. So on here, create credential, I want you to create API key. And yeah, so this is our API key on here. And yeah, so that's how you're gonna create your API key. And one more time, you're gonna enable the service first before you can use your API key. And yeah, see you in the next part. Okay, so we're back, and on this one we're gonna create our OO 2.0 client ID for this one. And the easiest way to do this is create credential OO client ID. I think you should pay attention what I'm gonna do first before to do this. So it's a client ID use identified by single app to Google Auth service, and you need to do the OAuth on sent screen first. So we're gonna do it external for this one. Click external, create, and we're gonna name it error. There's a okay. Don't worry about that. Let's say YouTube bot or something and save it. And yeah, that's it. You don't need to specify something that you can edit it later on anyway. But we're not gonna touch old screen. We only want to create our credential. So create old client ID. So we're gonna desktop app for this one and name it to YouTube bot or something. Create. And yeah, so that's how you're gonna create your OO 2.0 client ID. And yeah, see you in the next part. Okay, so this is the introduction for this section and what we're gonna do. So we're gonna set up our environment first. We're gonna create our virtual ENB. And yeah, so a couple of tutorial after we set up and create our virtual ENB, we're gonna start coding, and these things are gonna get like too quick. I don't wanna make a longer video. That's my only my rules on making video. So on the next part I'm gonna explain it, like we're gonna do this, and like at least you have experience before you. I already said before we start on this course, you should at least the basic knowledge of Python. You're not gonna take this course if you don't have a experience on Python. And I'm not gonna explain what is loop, what is function, what is class, and that's gonna get, how you gonna say it, what is pip, what is like that. I'm not gonna explain it all of this. Like we're gonna do this quick like that and make our project done, and so we can maintain this. And yeah, so that's how exactly programming is. We're gonna do it quick and we're gonna clean it later on. We're gonna refactor some of the code on the back. And yeah, so that's my only introduction for this one. And on the next part we're gonna do the setup for this. And yeah, see you on the next part. Okay, so we're gonna download Laragon for our environment. And the reason for that, I don't wanna make a separate video how to download Python, pip, explaining those. I already told you before on this course that you should have a experience on Python, and I'm not gonna explain what is function, for loop, or something like that. We're gonna do this quick as possible. That's the main goal of the course. I want to make this shortly as possible, not overcomplicated. And yeah, let's just start it. So the reason we're gonna install Laragon is I don't want to make separate, we have separate like environment or something like that. We want a sandbox that we can easily install, not too overcomplicated. So that's Laragon anyway. If you download the Laragon full version, you have already have the Git, the Python, the pip installed on your sandbox environment. It's not installed on your system or something like that. It's separately installed on the sandbox on Laragon. I'm gonna, you know what, let's just start it. So first go to the Laragon and go to the downloads and get the full version of this, because it's installed the Python, Git, and more. All of the latest programming language out there are already installed in one package. That's very good solution for that. So after you install this, you're gonna get this interface. I'm gonna explain the interface right now. So this is not a web development, so we're not gonna touch the Apache server or NGX and web, so we can test the local host or database. So we're gonna use only the terminal, and so this thing's a command line program that we're gonna build. So we want this to run on our Raspberry Pi or our server AWS, something like that, running on the background. And we want this running like 366 days, 24 hours all day without touching the code. If we run this one time, that's the goal for this thing. And yeah, so if you download Laragon, you're gonna get this interface. Go to roots. So this is where your file, same on Apache. So htdocs on Apache, same on Laragon, www. So this is the path. If you go to the roots, so this is where your file gonna run. And if you right click, you're gonna get the terminal. On that, you're gonna have this. If you install this on the pro version, you got the terminal installed. And yeah, so that's it. So we're gonna install Python now. How you gonna install Python? Right click, tools, and quick add, and go to the Python. And that's it. That's how easy it is. So click that. Because I already installed it, I'm gonna close it. So yeah, so go to the roots again one more time after you install Python. Right click, terminal, and ls. So you're gonna type Python. So 3.61 on our Laragon version. It's not installed globally. So if I pull up my CMD and I'm gonna type Python, so 3.7, so it's isolated only on Laragon version. That's why I recommended using this, because it's not installed on your system globally. So it's only installed on this sandbox. And yeah, so I'm done explaining all the things. We're gonna create our folder file on our Git. You can make a folder or something like that on the next part anyway. And we're gonna set up our pip environment so we can isolate it, our project in packages manager. I'm gonna explain a little bit pip anyway. If you already know that, it's good. And yeah, see you on the next part. So we're done on the environment. Okay, let's just start it. And on this part, we're gonna get the statistic of a video. So for example, we're gonna get the video, how many view, like, dislike, comment, or something like that in Python. So we're gonna understand how Python gonna access to the YouTube API. So on your first part, how to get your API key and OO 2.0 client ID, we already learned that, and we're gonna get that. So on your Udemy course, on folder, we create our ENB, right? So I want you to create a folder, let's say folder called 00 or template. So 00 template or something like that. Copy your API key on here. Copy that, and I want you to create a folder called and file, name it API key .py, something like that, and open that with Sublime Text. So you're gonna type the code like API key is equal to something like that, and get your API key, put it on here and paste it on here, something like that. And yeah, so put it on there, and we're gonna download our 002.0 client ID, download that and go to the file and put it on your template, something like that. And yeah, so one more time, we have API key.py. I'm gonna open it again and paste the API key on here. Okay, I misspelled it. API key, something like that. And we're gonna rename this file to client secret.json. Make it short anyway, like that, client secret.json. And yeah, so we're done on the template for this one. Okay, so this is our template file. We're gonna use it most of the time. And yeah, see you in the next part. Okay, so after we install Laragon, so we're gonna set up our virtual environment and install some pip on our isolated virtual environment. And yeah, let's just start it. So why we need to install virtual env on pip? So if you have like web development experience, like on Plus or Django or different kind of programming language, you want to isolate your package version separately from project A to project B, like that on one server. So we don't want to install like one package globally and it will share on our separate project. We don't want that. So the solution is to make a virtual env to isolate all the package version. So most of the third party package on pip are updated like 1 week or 3 months or something like that. They release the new version, and that happen most of the time because yeah, they always maintain some of the code and we need to adapt on that. And yeah, that's it. So we're gonna set up our project now. So go to the roots and right click and make a folder name, like say, like let's say Udemy, I guess. This is the folder name we're gonna make. Click that and terminal. Okay, so we're inside of that. So first we're gonna install the virtual env. So pip install virtual env, paste it on here. And yeah, so we install the pip virtual env now. So we're gonna create our environment by typing virtual env and env or something like that. Virtual env. Okay, so if you have your antivirus running, you're gonna get this. Okay, it will check this, so don't worry about this. Okay, so we're gonna activate this. So we're inside of the on our folder. So if you open, you know what, I'm gonna ls. So env file created on here. So this is our virtual environment. So we're gonna activate this by typing the name script and activate on that. Okay, so I'm gonna which and Python Okay, so if you type which Python, it's isolated on our env, and which pip, it's isolated in our env. So that's it. We finally make our virtual env setup. It's running, and yeah, so we're gonna install some package that we're gonna use. So I'm gonna leave this on that code. You can install this easily. Copy this and paste it on here. Not double, so paste on here. Okay, so if you have your antivirus running, it will need some time to install this. And yeah, so we're gonna go this, copy this one, and yeah, ls cls. Okay, so we're done on the virtual env. We set up our old file, and yeah, so see you in the next part. We're gonna start coding. Okay, so let's go back to our tutorial now. So we're gonna create our first program right now. So we're gonna get the video statistic using YouTube API, and yeah, let's just start it. So on your Udemy folder, copy your template, and we're gonna rename this called 01 like statistics or something like that, and ls cd to that folder, and we're gonna touch main.py, something like that. So we have the main.py on here, and you know what, I'm gonna write the code with my writer. So basically I remake my entire course for this one. So like, if you want to see a tutorial like writing the code like that, it's that absolutely boring anyway, and it takes like 15 and 20 minutes to get the video done. That's why I make this type of different approach, like a typewriting programming like that kind of type, so I can explain while the animation is running. I think it's the easiest way I could explain the thing. So you're not gonna see me writing the code like that. I'm gonna do this kind of animation on HTML like this. I think I don't wanna make longer video and you're gonna get bored anyway. I think I'm gonna explain the concept more than just you wanna see me just typing like 10 minutes or 25 minutes or 30 minutes long. I don't want that, because yeah, explaining things is the easiest way to learn this thing. And yeah, let's go to our tutorial. So I'm gonna refresh this thing. So we're gonna import the URL request for this one. So because we want to access the YouTube API by using the library called requests, and we import the JSON file so we can convert the output of the request to JSON format, so we can get what we want to get the data. For example, we're gonna get the view or the like count, dislike count, or comment like. You can do that if it's JSON format. It's so easy on Python. So we import the API key, that import API key. So on our last part, we make a template, right? So our template have the API key written on here. It's kind of like this API key and something like that. and that's the importing. So you're importing the API key.py, so we're importing the variable, and on this function we create the get view. So we're gonna pass the visual ID. So what is visual ID? So visual ID is, if you go to the YouTube and click something, for example on this one, so you click this, you see the URL youtube.watch and question mark b is equal to something. So this is the visual ID. So for example, for this one, so this is the visual ID, this one. So this is the visual ID, and yeah, so if I say visual ID, so we're talking about not the URL. So the visual ID is here, so like that. So URL, the full URL, the visual ID. So if I say visual ID, I'm talking about this visual ID, because on YouTube API you're not gonna pass the full URL because of the security reason. You don't want to just paste like the entire URL or something like that, but they're gonna trim it anyway, so you can just get it on here. That's the visual ID, and so you can access this on URL if you run this print URL. So I'm gonna run the code later so you can get the idea. So you can access that on URL, and you're gonna see the JSON format, so we can access the what's inside of the JSON, so the response, so we can get the view count for this. So I think it's kind of very straightforward. You know what, I'm gonna run the code. And you know what, ls python main.py. So we're gonna paste the URL. We're gonna paste the, not entire URL, we're gonna paste the visual ID. So paste your YouTube visual ID. I'm gonna paste it on here, 271, and let's see the full URL if it's true. And yeah, 271 view, it's absolutely right. So our okay, so that's the view count, it's absolutely the same. So we're gonna access it on the URL, and you know what, I'm gonna close this. So I'm gonna open the code, open with Sublime Text or something like that. So we're gonna print the URL so you can get the idea. Print and URL. I'm gonna file save this, and I'm gonna run it again. I'm gonna get the visual ID, run it, and get it the entire URL and paste it on your browser. So what will happen is you're gonna get the JSON file in your browser. So that's the request. Okay, I'm gonna show you the code anyway. It's on here. We're gonna request URL open. It's meaning we're reading on JSON format. That's why we can access it on this kind of format. So it's meaning item.0 or statistics. If you see the format of the JSON, we're gonna go to this one 0, because this part is 0 on this part. Man, this thing's so basic anyway. If you already learned JSON, you can understand it more quickly. And we're gonna go to the statistic. So in statistics, so we have the statistics on here, the entire here. So you're gonna put the view count. So this is how you're gonna get view, like, dislike, favorite count, or comment count for this one. And yeah, so in the later project we're gonna build, we're gonna get the view, like, dislike, favorite count, comment count, and something like that. And yeah, so one thing about this on the video, so for example on the YouTube reference, like if you read the entire documentation, it can get you overwhelmed or something like that. Like what I'm gonna do. Okay, I understand, like there's so many like thing you're gonna read or something like that. Maybe on the next part, like on this one, I just make a just short, very short video for this, that you can make a YouTube API request with just 15 line or 8 of line of code in Python. That's why Python is so good and it's so very popular, and I like the syntax anyway. No, nothing like on PHP. Like I hate the syntax for PHP, but I still like it. And yeah, so if you're gonna request for video, you need the API key. So in the next part, you're gonna learn where we're gonna use the OO 2.0. And for this request, we just only need the API key, and this thing's absolute basic. We're just saying that we want to get on this URL. In order to access this URL, we need to pass the video ID and API key. So this is just one line of code. So on here, so we're putting the URL lib request to get this entire, and we're gonna convert it to JSON file so we can extract the view count or like whatever we want. Okay, so this thing is kind of very straightforward explanation for me, and I did not type this, so I kind of make this kind of thing. Like it's kind of animation that typing the entire code. You don't want me to watch it writing. It's kind of boring. I need to explain the concept of the code. And yeah, so it takes me like, if you see the timer right now, it takes me like 11 minutes to just explain things. And if I make this kind of like, you wanna see me typing all the codes, it's gonna take 20 minutes or 30 minutes. I don't want that to happen. I think at least I'm making 15 minutes or less to explain the entire code and what's happening. On the next parts, I'm gonna make it more like more or less, like maybe 8 or 10 minutes or something like that. And yeah, so this is how you're gonna get the video statistic using YouTube API. And very straightforward. If you don't know, if you don't, just ask it on the Udemy. I'm gonna answer your question, so you can get it all the code on the GitHub. If it's not working, get the issue for that. I'm gonna answer it anyway. And yeah, see you in the next part. Okay, so we're back on the tutorial. So on this part, we're gonna learn how to get the latest video of a channel. And yeah, let's just start it. So copy your template, and let's say rename this on 02 get the latest video or something like that. And we're gonna ls cd to that directory, and ls we're gonna touch main.py. So we're creating a file on here, that main.py. And you know what, let's just start it. So I'm gonna explain this thing quickly as possible. So okay, so we're gonna go to the get the latest video, and yeah, let's just watch our animation. Okay, so we're gonna import some library in order to use YouTube API. On this request, we need to use the 002.0 in order to access this API request. On if you go to the reference, you're gonna get the, where is it, video, not video, on search. So search overview, and so if you see that documentation, it's kind of overwhelming, like this, like that. And yeah, there's so many like things happening on the scene. And you know what, let's go to the code anyway. So on this one, you see this line of code: client.secret file, scope, blow it, install, upload that from client secret file. And this thing is kind of mandatory. You're gonna write this over and over again in order to get the YouTube API access. On that, this thing's so mandatory, and that's the only thing you're gonna read. So we're saying that we want to pass our client.secret.json. It's been our 002.0, and we're gonna put our scope from Force SSL, and you can read the scope documentation on the reference on here. So we're just putting our Force SSLs. That's, we're only gonna need it for now, and we're gonna run our flow.run.console, and you're gonna pass it on this called build YouTube b3, and you're gonna pass the credential. And on this variable, we have now access to the YouTube API, so we can now access the entire functionality on here. And yeah, so on this one, I make a called get view function that will store the video ID. So I already talked about this. If I say video ID, not the URL, so video ID on here, it's on the JSON format anyway. And so we're gonna store it on our list. So we specify our channel ID. So what is channel ID anyway? So one more time, I'm gonna go to the YouTube, and so the channel ID is, if you search the user like that, you're gonna see, if you see the name, you're gonna see YouTube channel, and this one. So this is the kind of weird thing, is the YouTube channel ID. I think you should be familiar for this one. And yeah, so that's the channel ID, and we're gonna specify our max result, how many results we want to get on this one. It's like if you're making like 100 requests, like you're gonna see the token, that next page. That's how they design the JSON format. You're gonna loop and gonna pass the token to get the next page or something like that. Maybe I think on one of my video on you, I forgot it anyway. So, and yeah, maybe on the future I'm gonna add that, so you can learn it, how to use the token to go to the next page. And yeah, so on this one, we're gonna get the request. So we're using the YouTube that search. So if you go to the reference, you see the search. So we're on here. So you get the idea for this one. So YouTube that search and that list. Okay, search and list. So it's meaning we're accessing on this function this one. So this is the documentation for search that list. And like there's so many like the parameter, like there's so many things you can do for this. And so this is the one I'm talking about. So properties, the next page token and previous page token. It's like if you have like you want your result like 100 result, you need to get the next page token and pass it in order to go to the next page. And yeah, so let's go back to the code. So we need to pass the snippet. So what is snippet? And we go to see the documentation or snippet, like so the part of parameter speak the comma separate price search resource property of the response will include set the parameter by the snippet. So mandatory, you need to put snippets on that, on this parameter or list. So we're gonna use part that snippet and we're gonna comma. It's a parameter space with comma separated list. And so we're not gonna use the content owner, skip that. So we're gonna specify the channel ID on our second parameter, channel ID. On here, this is my channel, and we're gonna get the max result. So max result, okay, skip the location, we don't need that. So max result, so we're gonna specify the max result to 5 or something like that, and comma. So we're gonna order this, see this order. So let's say date, rating, relevance, title, video count, view count. So we're gonna get the latest video, so we're gonna want to get the date. So you can be so creative for this if you're gonna make a content like how to get the most view count or something like that. You can do that too, but we're gonna get the latest video. So we're gonna use the date and pass it on the parameter, comma, and order equals to date. So what type? So type, let's go to the type. Let's say type, and we want to get the video, and we're gonna get that type and video. So this is the parameter per list. It's kind of very straightforward anyway. So you get the idea how you're gonna get the parameter, and you can test this code on the YouTube data reference and learn this. But for this tutorial, I just give you the idea how you're gonna just like test the YouTube API for that. And it's only just 2 lines of code anyway. If you see this, that request and execute. If it's okay, you're gonna get 200 requests. So this one, if you get the 400, it's mean you have invalid channel ID, invalid location or something like that, error. You can read the entire error for this. So if it's okay, you're gonna get 200 requests for that, and you're gonna get the JSON format. So it's on item and item.id. You're gonna go to the snippet and title. You can do that too. So on the last part, it's a JSON format, so I already write it on here. We're gonna pass the ID and the video ID, and we're gonna get the channel ID of that video. And why? Because we're gonna use this on our comment. Because in order to use some other like API, like you need to pass the video ID and the channel ID. I think this is the 2 most important on any kind of API request on YouTube. You need the video ID and the channel ID. So I already explained these 2 concepts, what is video ID and what is channel ID. and yeah, very straight, but I already explained the code. So it will return the list of a video ID and the channel ID. You know what, let's run the code. Okay, so I'm gonna run this using python main.py. Okay, and you see this, let's visit this URL to authorize the application. You need to copy the entire URL and access that to your on here, and you're gonna click your, so what are using your Gmail is the same of your YouTube account and the API and the OO 2.0. I already explained it on the very first part. When you're creating the OO 2.0 and the API key, you should use it the same account. If it's not, it will not work anyway. And yeah, copy this one and paste it on here. Okay, so we get the JSON format or something like that. So I'm gonna explain a little bit of this. It's kind of overwhelming if you see the code. So we get the ID. So this is the response, because I print out the response for this. So in here, print the response. So this is the response that we're gonna get. And in order to get the ID and the visual ID, it's on here, very one line of code anyway. On here, you're gonna type item ID and the visual ID to get that. So this is the visual ID. You see this is a video on my channel. So visual ID, channel ID, visual ID, channel ID, visual ID, channel ID, and yeah, so that's how you're gonna get the latest video for this part. I already explained it. Like, if you have a question, I'm gonna give on the Udemy, or if you have problem from the code, you can go to the GitHub and post the request for that. And yeah, one more thing, you're gonna change the channel ID of yours and the max result, change it to your how many results you want to get. And yeah, let's go to the next part. Okay, so we're back on the tutorial. So on this part, we're gonna update our YouTube video title in YouTube API using Python. And yeah, let's just start it. So first, copy your template and let's say rename this by 03 dot update title, something like that, and ls, we're gonna cd to that. And ls, so we're gonna create touch main.py. So first, you need to activate your env if you like came back. So to do that, env and scripts activate. Okay, so you need to go to the roots to do this. So let's say on here, env on this directory, and scripts and activate. Okay, so we're in. So cd to our folder we're gonna use, number 3, go to that, and yeah, let's just start it. So on update video title. So first we're gonna import OO, the same, it's mandatory. We're gonna import this, install the upload, and we're gonna make a function that we need the ID. So what ID is this? Video ID, to change the video, and we can specify our title and description for this. So I put this on the top so we can change this easily, and this thing is mandatory again to get the YouTube access API, and this is the request and the parameter that we're gonna use. Okay, so the thing we're gonna learn is the request only. Like I already explained, this part is kind of mandatory, but the request is the only part we're gonna learn the most part of this. And yeah, let's just start it. So if you go to the see this youtube.video, we're still on the video API, and we're gonna get update. Okay, so on YouTube data reference, you're gonna go to video and update. And yeah, so this is how you're gonna update your video. So if you read the kind of documentation, so we're gonna use the scope only force SSL for this one. So in order to access this, we're gonna authorization 002.0 are needed on this part. So I'm gonna explain about the parameter request. So the parameter is on this, we're gonna use the snippet, and so I use the snippet, category, description, and tags and title. And yeah, so on here you only gonna specify for the body. If you see the body on here, if you click this, you can add the status snippet. So the body is, you're gonna specify the ID. What's the ID? Where's that ID? The properly required request update of the video snippet. So you're gonna specify the ID. So for example, for this one, you're gonna get the video ID passed to this in order to change the title and change the description, change the tag and category. And yeah, you know what, let's just update my video. So we're gonna go to one of my video. So let's say on here, so this is my 2019 memories picture. This is about how awesome APR are. We're gonna change this on our code. So okay, let's run the code. So ps python main.py, and we're gonna get the authorization code for this. So in order to, same as always, this app isn't verified, go to the advanced, go to update the allow, and allow. So you're gonna get this, copy that, paste it on here, And yeah, so we update the title. Okay, so we're not specify the code anyway, so we're gonna open our code. The easiest way to guess, Sublime Text, open that. So we're gonna change this to something 2020 is the best year, something like that. And description, let's say, yeah, 2020 is so bad, something like that. Okay, we save this. So we only change the title and description. You can add your tag for this one, but it's up to you anyway. I leave it to that. And you can enable the default language to English. You can add that too. And let's run it again one more time. I'm gonna get the authorization code one more time and put it on here. That. And paste it on here. Okay, everything is updated. So what we're gonna do is go to that URL, and yeah, this is my 20 memory speaker is the best year, and this video is how awesome API here. 20 is so bad, and yeah, we update this thing. And yeah, so this is how you're gonna update your video title. So, and yeah, so we're done for this. I'm gonna back this, and you know what, I'm gonna leave it here like that. Close that, and yeah, see you on the next part. So if you have a question, you can leave on Udemy. I'm gonna answer that. And yeah, see you in the next part. And yeah, let's just start it. So in this part, we're gonna learn the how to update thumbnail. So okay, so we copy our template and we rename this the update thumbnail, and like that. We're gonna back on directory ls and cd to that, email ls, and touch main.py, something like that. And okay, so where is it? Thumbnail update, and yeah, let's watch. So we're gonna import first it's mandatory again, import the Google Oath. So this thing's the new one, import media file upload. I think this is the most part you should remember. Import media file upload. It's not on the documentation if you do not pay attention, but you need to import this in order to upload. And this part is mandatory again, so we're making access to the YouTube API by passing our credential, and the only line of code is on here. It's exactly like 4 line of code, so very easy. And you know what, let's just start it. So we're making a request on the thumbnail.set. So if you go to the API reference, go to the thumbnail, it's only one function anyway, it's only set. So the set is like maximum file is 2 MB, accept a media type, image and JPEG, PNG, and something like that. And we're gonna specify on the body is the video ID and the file we're gonna upload. Very easy, straightforward. And you know what, let's just start it. Okay, so in order to do this, you need to make your own thumbnail. So if you're have your own thumbnail, you can create. So I put the, how you gonna say it, on the code on the GitHub. I make a kind of simple test thumbnail or something like that, so you can use it. So we're gonna update my one of my video again. So I'm gonna copy the full URL. So we're gonna go to that video. Okay, so if you paste the entire URL on the search bar, you can see this. So the thumbnail of this is this. So we're gonna change this to our test thumbnail. Where's the code? Okay, we're gonna use the thumbnail.jpg. The only thing you should remember is that maybe on the next, on further tutorial, we're on the same directory of where the file you're gonna execute this. So you don't need to specify the entire path, and that's the only thing. So you need only to pass the video ID and where's the thumbnail.jpg you're gonna use. And you know what, let's compile this. What's gonna happen? And main.py. Okay, you need authorization for this in order to use the thumbnail.set. So I'm gonna quickly get my authorization code. Get that, paste it on here. Okay, so everything is working fine. So we got our thumbnail set. So we're gonna check it one more time again. And if you see this, if you search the title, so the thumbnail change. And yeah, so you need to clear your cache in order to see this. Like, it will not update that much. See this, so this one have my cache on my thumbnail. It's not properly deleted yet. Okay, it just updated. So it will takes like 3 minutes, in 3 or 5 before they update it. And yeah, so that's how you're gonna do it. I'm gonna remove it again. I'm gonna put it this one, the default one. And yeah, so you understand now how we're gonna update the thumbnail using Python with very short line of codes anyway. And yeah, so we need to wait at, like, if you updated your thumbnail. And yeah, so we're done on the thumbnail. We're gonna go to the next tutorial. So if you have a question, or you have question, leave it on the Udemy. I will answer it. And if you have problem with the code, go to the GitHub issue. I'm gonna answer it too. And yeah, see you in the next video. Okay, so we're back, and on this part we're gonna how to comment on Python using YouTube API. And yeah, let's start it. So copy your template and rename it to something like 5, like YouTube comment, something like that. And we're gonna cd to that directory, paste it on that, touch main.py, ls, clear ls. And yeah, let's start it. So we're gonna go to the comments, and yeah, let's start it. So we're gonna import still the mandatory thing called Google Auth client discovery.build installed upload API import. So same of this line, very mandatory again. So we're gonna create a function. So on this one, we're gonna comment the latest video, and we're gonna comment that with how many results we want. So I want to make a autobots on the third project we're gonna build. We're gonna make a program that will auto comments every day, running our Raspberry Pi or AWS, or I don't know how. If you don't have your own server running on the cloud, you can do that. And yeah, so everything is automation at this point. And yeah, let's start it. So one more time again, this part's mandatory. You need to import this in order to access YouTube API. So we're gonna make a function that we're gonna store our video ID and the channel. So in order to like comments using the, if you go to the, I'm gonna later on. So on this one, we're gonna store it on our list, the video ID and the channel ID. When we want the result max to 2, so you can specify how many comments you like. You can set like 10 or 100 every day. It's kind of crazy. Like, don't spam this, don't overuse this thing, and it gonna item that response, append the ID and the video ID, and we're gonna get the channel ID of that video. And so we got the list for this one. So this function gonna get the video ID and the channel ID. And the next one, so this is the insert that comment. So this is the roots of our all, how I'm gonna say, tutorial on here, because we're gonna pass the video ID. So in here, if you go to the parameter that we're gonna pass, so we need the channel ID and the video ID. And go to the top level comment, go to the text that we're gonna pass, so the message we're gonna pass, and that's it. That's the insert comment. So if we go to the, where is it, YouTube, and comment threads, and what we're using is insert. So this insert, go to the insert and creating a new top level comment to add reply to existing comment. Use the comment insert method instead. And yeah, so we're not gonna reply or something on to reply existing comment, just instead. So we're not gonna use the comment that insert, we're gonna use the comment thread that insert. So we're gonna comment on the top video on that, and the scope is for SSL only. We need that. We're like kinda over not explain this thing on here. We need to pass the scope, and so what's the request? Snippet, channel ID, video ID, and text. So only 3. And yeah, so kinda short, very short, this one. So this is the 3. You can use the set of value properties on channel ID, video ID, and text original. That's why on the first program we build, like why I make a list that get the video ID and channel ID on the statistic part. This is the reason. So channel ID and video ID are very important on this one. So I don't want to refactor everything on this top, getting the statistic of get the latest video, and on that I don't want to refactor this. I think this is the easiest way, put it on the list, and on this one line of code, very like, I don't wanna, like, you're gonna see some code like they make loops and make it separately. I don't want that. I want to put this on one line of code anyway, on like this. And yeah, so if we, and the last one, the comment that bid, so we're gonna get the video, and we're gonna loop it on that and on the ID. So we're gonna get the first parameter is the channel ID. So we're accessing index 1 and index 0. So index 1 is the channel ID, so this one, channel ID, and video ID is the 0 index, and the message. So you can specify your message in here, like, don't use this like a spam or something like that. I use this for like nice video or something like that on my latest video every day, and that's how I make it done. If I go to my, okay, so this is the comments, and it's kind of like this, nice video. This thing's running on my cloud server. Like, I put it on here. You can put it on your Raspberry Pi or something like that. And I already explained you that if you see some, you wanna become friends or something like that, this is how they make this thing. And kind of very straightforward anyway. You know what, I'm gonna run the code and you're gonna get the idea. So I'm only gonna comment 2 because this is my channel anyway. I can do that. Okay, let's run the thing. ls python main.py. Okay, we need our OAuth again. We need to get that, and I'm gonna paste it on here. I'm gonna get my authorization code. Just wait a little bit. Allow, and get it. Paste it on here. Okay, everything is commenting. Go to the YouTube, go to the channel, and go to the latest. And if you see this, nice video, and yeah, so this is how you're gonna comment. And yeah, I think we see this running. Okay, so one last thing that I did not explain is the search. I already explained this on how to get your latest video. So this is the same code on that. And the search that list, you need to pass the channel ID, the max result, and order by date. What type of it? Video. And that's the search. And yeah, so I already explained that on that part. So we're already on here on the comment part. And yeah, so this is how you're gonna do it. You can change it, your comment, change the channel ID, and how many gonna comments. You can specify that. And yeah, we're done on the comments. We're gonna go to the likes, and see you in the next part. Okay, so we're back on the tutorial. So what we're gonna learn is how to auto likes on YouTube using Python with YouTube API. And yeah, let's just start it. So copy our template again, and let's say 06, like likes or something like that. And ls we're gonna cd to, okay, so we need to go back one directory, cd to that likes, and ls, and touch main dot py or something like that, clear ls. And yeah, let's just start it. So we're gonna go to the thumbnail and not likes and index.html. So again, very straightforward. We're gonna import all the package that we need, and this thing is so again mandatory again to get access to our YouTube API. We're gonna pass our credential, build YouTube B3 credential. We're gonna pass our credential on here. So again, get bids is gonna get our latest video, our 10 latest video on our channel, and we're gonna like that. And this code is already explained to you why I'm gonna put this on list with video ID and the channel ID, because you need to pass the video ID on that and get it. But you should not use this on this part. It's up to you anyway, but you can reuse this more and more if you're gonna use this on comments. That's why I did not refactor this. I leave it the same on here. And the only line of code is here. In this one line of code, you can just like or dislike easily with this one line of code. You need to specify the video ID only. Very powerful. If you know the video ID, you can just delete this and do one line of code. It's possible, because if you see the code, YouTube video and rating, likes, and the video ID, only one parameter. So we're gonna go to the where is it? So video and rates. We're gonna go to the video and rate. Okay, so rate, add a like or dislike rating to a video, or remove the rating from a video. So you can do this, and this thing is so powerful if you have like too many Gmail account. So you can easily change to dislike or like by changing this rating to dislike and like. That's it. And I think they should change this to 0 and 1. I think the easiest way to remember. But yeah, you need to specify like or dislike for that. And so the scope, we'll go to the parse SSL. So we need the ID. So what's ID? So the video ID, it's already on the documentation. And the rating, dislike and like. Okay, so very the parameters only two, not over complicated. I think this is the easiest way YouTube API out there. And yeah, request body, and yep, very short, and only one line of code anyway if you refactor this. But I give you the idea how to get the latest video and comment that. So very straightforward. You know what, let's just start it. I'm gonna go to my YouTube and explain the automation, how it works. So if you go to your on this and go to the on your YouTube, if you go to the hamburger and go to the like video, so you can see the video that you like. And okay, so how many gonna, and you know what, we need to change the code to 10. Okay, it's already 10. I'm gonna change the code to something like 10. So we're gonna like 10 visual for mine. And you know what, I'm gonna run this thing now. Let's. So you need authentication in order to use this. Copy that and get your authorization code, paste the URL, and paste it on here. And yeah, so we like 10 visuals. So let's go back to that hamburger thing and click it one more time, go to the likes, and yeah, so we like the latest video, and yep, so we like it. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, 10. It's kind of 8 anyway because I already liked the first two video. And yep, so this is how we're gonna like your video. And if you have the question or something like that, you can put it on that Udemy. I will answer it. If you have problem with the code, go to the GitHub and put the issue. I will fix it if there's a problem of this. And yep, so nothing too special, only one line of code on here. And yeah, so kind of very straightforward anyway. Okay, you know what, we're yeah, see you in the next video. Okay, so this is the final video for this chapter. So this is the conclusion for this. So we'll learn how to get the statistic of the video, get the latest update the thumbnail, comment, likes, and we're kinda almost done of the. We have only left, called making a thumbnail on Python. So basically we're gonna use called package philo on the next part, on the next chapter anyway. Okay, so before we end this, if you have a question, I will answer it. If you have problem with the codes not working, get issue on my GitHub, and yeah, if it does not work, I will fix it. And if you have a question, I might answer it. And yeah, so very straightforward anyway. We're kinda almost done. So we're gonna make our project 1 2 3. So we only have one video left. So, and yeah, see you on the next chapter. Okay, so this is the introduction to how to create our thumbnail in Python dynamically. And yeah, let's just start it. So the introduction for this, so we're just gonna install the package that we're gonna use. It's called philo. So if you have experience on Python, you may be across this package. Very popular package, and I'm gonna give the link for the official for this. And in order to install this, you're gonna pip install philo, something like that. Copy that, paste it on here. Okay, so before you install this, you should activate your virtual environment. Okay, one more time again, go to the roots of your folder. You see the env and scripts, and activate. And so that's how we're gonna activate it. It's already activated on here. So we're gonna install the philo and paste it on here. So very easy, very isolated too. We have installed the virtual environment, and yeah, it's done. 7.2 That's the version we're running. And yeah, see you in the next part. We're gonna create the program. So okay, so in this part we're gonna create our folder. So make here, let's say 07, like generate thumbnail or something like that. ls. Okay, we're gonna cd to that directory, paste it on here, ls, and touch main.py. Let's go to the generated a thumbnail. So for this one, so we're gonna download like 2 files we need. So we need fonts for this one. So you can go to the fonts.com and download fonts, but yeah, it's up to you what kind of fonts you're gonna use. You can be so creative on this, it's up to you anyway. And for that, I already download one thing, so I'm gonna put it on here. And yeah, if you have your own fonts, put it on here, or you can use my fonts that I download, so you can follow with no problem. And yeah, that's the one thing. Okay, we're done on the fonts, so we're gonna get our thumbnail template. So if you have your own template, it's up to you, or you can go to the potter.com and create the YouTube thumbnail there, anything you want. But I got my template already, so you can use it too, it's up to you. And what it looks like, open with paint, it's kinda plain like this. So we can put the text on here so you can see it easily. Okay, so we're done with that. You can get it on my GitHub anyway. And okay, so we're done on the setup. We got our main py and our fonts, and yeah, let's just start it. So I'm gonna go to the thumbnail and explain this thing. Okay, so on this part we're gonna import the URL request, import fill, import image font, image draw. Okay, so I already put the URL request because we're gonna use this on the later part of the project, and on this part we're not gonna use it. So we're just like importing this because we're gonna use this on the later on. And just don't freak out that I put URL requests on here. And the main part of this tutorial is the pillow. So we importing the pillow that image in order to access our image file, image.font in order to change our font that we download, image.draw is how we're gonna type text to our image. And very straightforward. And yeah, let's start it. So I get a function called get view. In order to test this, we're gonna get the view, so we can specify how many view, and like that we can do that on here. So this one, view to string, this thing's so very common. If you go to the Tom Scott video, like how is that? And I think you should go to my channel first, go to that and playlist. Okay, so if you see this number called, okay, Tom Scott have a million like view or something like that, do you see the comma? So this is how this function gonna works. If you pass the view, it will enumerate on that if it is divisible by 0 and it's greater than. Okay, so I cannot post the greater than sign on G because of the HTML, I think it's GT. Okay, I think, yeah, so if it's 0, we're gonna append the the comma. So that's the function for this one, and very straightforward, and this is how you're gonna do it in Python. Just if there's a if your view is like 1000, it's gonna give you comma on that. And yeah, and this thing's the main tutorial for this is the create thumbnail for this. It will save you a lot of time. Like I already figured out the coordination for X and Y. Like you don't need to test this and make your own. And yeah, so I'm gonna explain the code more. So we're gonna get our view string first. We're gonna call this function that we pass on our function called view. If the view gonna pass in our function and gonna pass it to the view to string, so we can have the comma, and on this line we're gonna open that image that open sample.jpg. so it's the name of the sample that I name. You can rename this on your own, what kind of template you have. You can change that and draw that image. So we're specifying our font. You can change this your font that you download, or you can specify the font size for that. That's why we import the image that font. And the draw.text is the hardest part to learn this, because on this text you're gonna put the X and Y coordination, and X and Y coordination. After you get that, you're gonna save it to the new name, so thumbnail.jpg. so we don't have that from now because we're not still running the code. So our main function is the current view is the get view. Create thumbnail, current view, finish the thumbnail. And you know what? Let's just run this thing. Main.py, we're inside of that. ls and python main.py. Okay, I'm gonna run this again. Finish the thumbnail. Okay, so we create the thumbnail.jpg. So this is the output. I'm gonna open it with paint. Okay, you see the 1000 view and likes. So this one is working fine on here. So we don't have the likes and dislike for now. Like on the next project that we're gonna build, we're gonna specify the variable on this, so we can add the like, dislike, and comments. Okay, so we create our dynamically generated thumbnail, and very powerful package called Philo. And yeah, so if you have a question, like if you have problem, you can go to my GitHub and put an issue on that and ask question on the Udemy. I will answer it. I think it's very powerful how Philo works anyway. For now, we only passing the view. So if we add the parameter for likes, dislike, and comments, so on this one we don't have the API request for that. So we don't have that for now. So we want to get only the views only. And yeah, so see you on the next part of this. Okay, so we're back on the tutorial. So in this one, this is the project one that we're gonna build. So how many view that the famous video of Tom Scott. So we're gonna build that project now, and yeah, let's just start it. So this is the introduction for that. So we're gonna make our project structure and yeah, let's just start it. So copy your template and copy that and rename it like project, and let's say how many views, something like that. And on that, go to that directory and create a folder called API.1 and folder called make that thumbnail and make called update thumbnail or something like that, and date title. So it's kind of modular thing. That's why we learn how to make this thing so we can reuse it later on. That's why we learn the YouTube API first before we making the project, because so we can just use in the entire code modularly. And yeah, so we structure our folder like this, and we're gonna make our main.py. So main.py, and yes, okay, so it's kind of like this. Okay, we're done on this one. And yeah, so this is our structure we're gonna do. So we're gonna make our API first and make our thumbnail, update our thumbnail, update our title, and we're gonna go to our main.py. So yeah, see you in the next part. We just structure our project layout, and yeah, see you in the next video. Okay, let's just start it. So on this part, we're gonna finish our API. So we're gonna get the statistic of a video, and yeah, let's just start it. So cd to our project and how many view, and ls cd to API.1. So why I put this on API.1? So on original, when I first create this, like, you can get the view, likes, comment, all of that without API. I make that, but I just remove it anyway. It's gonna get you overwhelmed how scraping works. How you gonna scrape using Beautiful Soup. It's gonna make you overwhelmed on this course anyway. It's out of the course if I just put it anyway. That's why it named API/1. Maybe like there's a limit how you gonna use API on YouTube. You can not just run it every day like that. On the later part, I'm gonna explain it. They call it quota. I guess that's how we're gonna pronounce it, for every access. And yeah, you know what, let's go to the directory ls, and we're gonna make our, let's say, touch main.py. Okay, so copy your API key and client ID and put it inside on your API for that one. So if you have reached your limit, you can change easily the API for getting the statistic. That's why I put it on here, so you can easily change it. And yeah, let's just start it. So let's go to the project 1 and API. Okay, so this is the same on statistic. We just refactor it and refactor the code to the module so we can use it on our main Python file that we're gonna use. So this module is gonna get only all the statistic and return it with list. And yeah, so we already learned this on the first video, how to get the statistic of a video. Like you're gonna get the video ID and your API key to get that. On the first tutorial, we already learned how to get the view counts on here, but for now we're gonna get the likes count and the dislike count and the comment, and we'll return this with view count, like count, dislike count, and comment count. And yeah, so we're done on that functionality. Nothing gonna test this, it's already working. We just add only this. And yeah, so we're done on this part. We're done on the API.py. And see you in the next part. We're gonna make our thumbnail. We're gonna set up our thumbnail next. Okay, so in this part we're gonna make our thumbnail and ls. So we're gonna cd to the make the thumbnail ls. So on this one we need to put our fonts. So you can download different fonts for this one. You can do that on the fonts.com. You can download it. And I'm gonna put my fonts on here. And next we're gonna put our thumbnail that we're gonna use. So you can make it on the photo.com, or if you have your own thumbnail, it's up to you. You can do that too. If you have it, name it sample, like something like that, put it on here. And I'm gonna open this with paint so you can see my thumbnail, a star platinum on JoJo Bizarre Adventure. So this is I'm gonna use this as my thumbnail. Put it on here. That's our sample. And yeah, so we're gonna make our, let's say so we're gonna create our main.py for this. So main.py, something like that. And yeah, we're good to go. Okay, so close that, and we're gonna go to the project, and let's go to that. And yeah, let's just start it. So I'm gonna click this. So it's the same on the last part, how we make the dynamic thumbnail. So we import the fill, same on logic. So on this time we only import that and that. So the only change for this part is the function called create thumbnail, because we need to get the likes, dislike, and comments for that. So if you're calling okay, so this thing is so very important if you're gonna try to debug this thing. So you need to specify this, the entire path. So this is a module thing, right? So you're calling this main.py on this folder. So you're gonna get an error for this one if you did not pay attention what's happening. And I think this is the best way to explain this. For this one, if you're gonna specify the path of a module program, you need to specify the whole path anyway. It's kind of like this: make thumbnail sample.jpg or something like that. Make thumbnail or some on that slash, we're saying we're gonna get this. So we're not running the main.py on the directory. We're calling this one in our on here, main.py, on our root. So we're accessing on this folder called module make the thumbnail, and you need to specify the path. Again, I say it twice again, and same on here. And yeah, so if you know that, you're not gonna get an error for that one. And the another thing that changes the function parameter, so we need to pass the likes, dislike, and comments. So we're gonna generate that, and yeah, so that's how we're gonna do it. I think nothing changed that much of the code. We just specify the likes and dislike and comments. So we're just using the view to string, like we're gonna get a comma for 8,000, comma per 8,000 for this one, view to string. We're just passing that likes, dislike, comments, and get that on the new string, and just draw it like that. And one last thing is you need to specify where it's gonna save. Again, you're gonna get an error for this if you don't specify it like this. So you need to specify like that. And yeah, so we're done on making thumbnail for this. Nothing over complicated. And on the next part, we're gonna go to update our thumbnail. And yeah, see you in the next video. Okay, so let's update our thumbnail now. We're gonna create that module and ls. So we're gonna cd to the update the thumbnail. I think this is the very short line of codes that we're gonna have. So in order to update it, we're gonna copy our client.secret.json for this. So I already told you, alright, if you're gonna update thumbnail, you need 2.0. So you need to put that on here. Put that on here and create the main.py. So you can do that. So where's the thumbnail? So if you, even in the last part, so make in thumbnail, like if you see the source code. Okay, so not here. Okay, so this is the easiest way I can show it to you. So we're specifying it on the down one. On here, make thumbnail, and on that, so it's gonna on here the make thumbnail. And yeah, let's just start it. So I'm gonna run this thing, very short program. And so we're gonna import Google Auth, same as always. Google discovery import at build, flow import install upload. It's mandatory, so it's only one function. We want the ID. And what is this YouTube? So this thing's the OAuth. Like we always specify the mandatory thing to do that, so we need that variable in order to use this. So that's why I refactor this on the shortest way as possible, because so we're gonna get the thumbnail to the make thumbnail. So on this folder, on make thumbnail, right, it will generate the thumbnail we want on that. That's why you need to specify on that, so you should be careful on this. So that's the only thing you're gonna mess up for this one, if you're gonna change the directory or something like that. So this one is you should be careful on this. So you're just saying that we want to set our video ID that we're gonna pass, and the thumbnail that we're gonna use. That's it. Nothing too special about the update thumbnail. It's so very easy. Like, yeah, one line of code, two line of code, because you're gonna execute it anyway. Okay, so we're done on the update thumbnail. And you know what, see you in the next part. So we're gonna update our title on the next part. Okay, so we're back on the tutorial. So we're gonna update the title, and yeah, let's just start it. So we're gonna go to the title, and let's see the update title like ls. Okay, so you need to pass the client secret at JSON for this. Just put it on here anyway. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna create main.py on here. Do that, and main.py. So the code for this, okay, so we're gonna generate it with our writer. And yeah, so we're gonna import Google Auth.flow, same as always. It's mandatory, so we're gonna debug this if we have a problem. That's why I put it on here. So this thing's only one function called change video title. So we need the ID video and the view and the YouTube. So what is the YouTube? It's the YouTube credential that you're gonna pass it on here in order to use the YouTube request. So I'm gonna explain it later on our last part, if we combine all the module anyway. So on the last part, how to change it, we're gonna specify our title and the description and my and the tags on that, and you're gonna execute it. So kind of small, it's kind of short code anyway, and you're gonna only need the view because this video has blank views or something like that. You need to pass this with the how many views on that, and yeah, that's it. So it's the same code, we just change the parameter only on this without the mandatory code, the how you gonna access to the YouTube. We're gonna do that on the main.py. Like yeah, I'm gonna explain it there why I do this, because I have a problem on like we're gonna run this program like 366 days 24 hours. That's why I separate this one, the YouTube, the variable that hold to the YouTube requests separately. I'm gonna explain that on the last part anyway, and everything here are absolutely the same code. And yeah, so we only need the video ID for this. Okay, so this kind of, you say update. Okay, one last thing, I forgot to tell you that. So the ID, like it's not video ID, they just say ID on the documentation. It's kind of okay, what's ID? Okay, you need to read the again how to update video, and I think we use update, right? So like why they put this ID like that, ID, and oh my god, they did not put it. Okay, you see this, the documentation did not put what's this property called ID. Okay, so ID is the video ID we were gonna change on this one. Video ID, you say ID on this video ID, don't confuse this on this one. Like it's gonna confuse you, what's ID, what's the parameter we're gonna use this. You see the documentation, it's not written, it's video ID. Okay, and yeah, okay, so we're done how we're gonna change the video title. See you in the next part. Okay, so we're gonna make our main.py for this. So this is the main function that we're gonna use to combine all of this functionality into one. And yeah, let's just start it. So on here, I'm gonna run this thing. So from API, so we're importing the API module that main and get the function get view. So it's meaning we're just importing all of this module that we create. So these are the module that we create, right? So we're gonna import that and get the function get view, create thumbnail, change video, import thumbnail, and yeah, so that's the all the import we need. And one last thing, we're gonna import time. So we're gonna sleep our program and loop it like infinitely. We're gonna run this thing like 366 days and 24 hours. Like Tom Scott say, you need to run this code like every day. And yeah, so I have made the ID is equal to the video ID on here. So you can change this easily on here. A constant variable, so you can change it on your own on here. So this thing's okay. So this is the reason I put the credential on here on the main.py, because if you make all of the requests, some of the YouTube API requests need 002.0 requests like that. We just like, if you're running this, you only need to put your credential once and run this like every day without retyping every day. So this is the trick. And if you build this on the scratch, you're gonna encounter this. I already solved this, how you're gonna do it. That's why you're just saying you're only gonna put your credential it once, and all the functionality gonna loop like infinitely. Because on YouTube API, I think they did not add called, how you gonna say it, how long the authentication gonna last, and you're gonna be rejected on the YouTube API. I think that's the way this program gonna broke. And that's the same thing Tom Scott say. He did not specify what's the reasons program gonna broke that I build. Like if you already watched that, he said that maybe in the future this program gonna broke and something like that on the line. Like he say that he did not specify what's meaning, and I'm gonna give you the absolute reason for that. So on YouTube API, you only once authenticated on that. Maybe I did not build the YouTube API. I don't know what's inside of that. So we're just authenticating one time, and that authentication are not gonna check it like every day or something like that. It will not check it every day, right? If we just pass the authentication once, we can run the program like infinitely, and that's it. And you learn a lot for this. So if you start building this project, you're gonna think, is this gonna work okay like that? Okay, it's working. I already tested this for almost 1 month of the code. It's running perfectly fine. And the only way this program's gonna break if they change how the authentication gonna work. If they check our authentication per day, this program need to be reboot every day. And if it's not, and it's working fine as long as you authenticate it once. And yeah, so that's it. I'm done on talking of that on Tom Scott video. He explained it, the program's gonna broke or something like that. I already explained now. And it's only like one function we're gonna build. It's called main. We want our view count, like, dislike, and comments. And we're gonna loop it for infinite, like 1 year or 5 year on that. I don't know how we're gonna update their YouTube API. And for this one, so we're gonna set our timeout to 2 minutes for this one. So we're gonna get our first, get the video, we're gonna get our statistics, the current view of that video, our current view. You know what, it's I'm gonna open it on the source code with Sublime Text so you can see this easily. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom it right here. We're gonna get our statistics. 0, it's meaning you remember we returned the API and open it with Sublime. So we return this view count, 0 index, the 1, 2, 3 index. This is how we're gonna return multiple variable in function in Python. Very, very powerful code. And I'm saying that 0 index, I'm getting the view count for this. So if the current view is greater than the view count from now, we're gonna create our thumbnail and update our video title, update our thumbnail, create thumbnail, update all of that. If it's true, if it else, because our view did not up, we will not update our title and thumbnail, and we're gonna sleep 2 minutes, and we're gonna put our view count, like, dislike, and comment to our static variable so we can check it what's happening. So this is how loop works anyway. And yeah, this thing's gonna work. So we already solved the first problem called the authentication on the YouTube API. I hope they did not change this, because if they change, we need to authenticate like per every day or something like that. This thing's gonna broke anyway. And yeah, it's not, it's like you need always to put your password and credential like every day. It will remember it. So same on Facebook and Instagram. That's why you can run this like every day. So the logics there, I already explained it. One more time, we're gonna run our code. Our view count start with 0. It will check your current view, how many it will run in the first run, and it will sleep like 300. It's meaning for 5 minutes, and you're gonna sleep it again 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, if it's updated, it will sleep 5 minutes. If it's not, every 2 minutes it will check your video view if it's updated or not. And yeah, so that's how you're gonna do this thing. And yeah, everything is like self-explanatory. I already explained you this YouTube thing. So this thing's the YouTube. We're gonna pass it on here, the change video title and update thumbnail. So we're not gonna put our authentication over and over because we're looping, right? We just put the authentication once and we're good to go, because we're on this infinite loop. And yeah, so these things gonna take you some time to understand this. Like if you make this on scratch like me, it takes me like 3 days to make this code anyway. And yeah, so you know what, on this part I already explained the main, nothing too over complicated. And yeah, see, if you have a question, you can leave it on the Udemy. I will answer it anyway. If you have a problem with the code, get to the GitHub and I will check the issue, what's happening or not. I will answer it. And yeah, so we're gonna run this thing on the next part. And yeah, so I'm done explaining the code. See you in the next part. We will run this thing now. Okay, so we're gonna run our main.py, and yeah, let's just start it. So ls so python dot main dot py. So we're gonna get past the first authentication. For this, we need to get our credential code. And allow, copy that and get it, paste it on here, and yeah, it's working fine. Okay, so if you see this current view is 272, updating the title, go to that title and copy that. Okay, so it's working fine. And okay, 272, paste it on here, and yeah, you see this video has 272, 209 likes, 1 dislike, 61 comments, and yeah, everything's working fine. So we go to the folder, we check this. So go to the make thumbnail, you see this thumbnail, we create that, open that with your Paint. It's the same, yeah, it's the same. So it's mean our make thumbnail is working fine, update thumbnail is working fine too, and update title is working fine too, and yeah, everything is working fine now. If you see this, so on the code it will sleep 2 minutes and run it again 2 minutes, run it again 2 minutes, run it again 2 minutes, and if it's updated it will sleep 5 minutes. Why 2 minutes and 5 minutes? I told you there's a limit on YouTube API, and I think 5 minutes is the best way. Like, you don't need to check the view like per minutes or something like that. And if you have like 1 million subscribers, you can do that. But if you're a small YouTuber, like if you see Mr. Beast content, like they update their thumbnail, Mr. Beast thumbnail, and this video has or something, I forgot it. Okay, I forgot it. Okay, so this one. So Mr. Beast update their thumbnail or something like that, paid so far, and yeah, so we finish our program, everything's working fine. And yeah, so if you have a problem or question, leave it on the Udemy question, I will answer it anyway, or go to the GitHub, and yeah, so I will answer most of your question if you have it. And yeah, so we're done on our project 1. We're gonna go to the next thing, and yeah, see you in the next video. I hope you learn something new, or help you can be creative on this, like Mr. Beast, or like the watermark, it's or the banner. It's so easy to do that. Like, you have now the knowledge of how YouTube API works anyway. So you can go to your watermarks, you can easily change it, or your banner. You can easily update it and change your watermark to your something like barcode or something like that. If you want to make a Mr. Beast reader or something like that, it's up to you. You can be so creative. And yeah, so see you in the next video. Okay, so one last thing, and this is the conclusion for this project number 1. And it's kinda, if you have a problem and on the course, you can leave the question anyway, and if you have problem on the code, go to the GitHub, I will answer it. And one last thing I forgot to tell you, I think this thing, you should put your own URL on this. I forgot to say that when we start building this thing. If you put my URL, it will not work because you don't own the video. You don't have access on that YouTube channel. You cannot change everybody's channel. You should be your own video. I think that's very common sense. Maybe you're gonna notice that you're gonna get an error like you don't have authorization or something like that. And yeah, so everything is kind of, if you have that problem, and yeah, I'm gonna answer that. It's meaning if you don't have permission on that video, it's meaning on your own YouTube channel. And yeah, so I hope you like this project. Go to my playlist and find this video. So Tom Scott have 23 million and I got 272. It's still updating, it's still working fine. And yeah, so nothing's gonna last forever like how they explain this. I believe that too. Maybe if they change the YouTube API, it will not work anymore. Maybe, yeah, I'm gonna still update this course if it's not work or not. And yeah, leave the comment or question on GitHub. And yeah, see you in the next video. We're gonna make 2 more project. And yeah, see you on that. Okay, so let's just start it. So on this project, we're gonna make a auto comment program that will run 366 days, 24 hours, and it will run every day. It will auto comment your latest video. And yeah, let's just start it. So first, you're gonna copy your template and rename that to project that auto comments, something like that. And yeah, so on that, we're gonna ls go to that directory. And where is it? Up, not on here. Ls cd to that project auto comments and ls, and we're gonna make our file touch main.py. Go to that folder and I will run my typewriter to write the code. And I'm gonna write my typewriter, and yeah, I'm gonna run this, so it will generate all the code. And yeah, so let's wait. And from this, we're gonna import all the same thing, like importing the Google API client, API key, import API key, same logic and time. So again, we're gonna import time for this. So we're gonna slip this code like for 1 day, and it will comment again for 1 day. That's the only thing you're gonna understand for this part. So very to do this project now. And for this one, it will, you need to do the authentication thing. You're gonna do it once. I already explained it on the first project. It will work most of the time. It will work 366 days and 24 hours, as long as they did not change the YouTube API thing. It will always work. And yeah, so this is the same code that we use on get the latest video and auto comments. It's the same, and the only change on that is it's on here. We do the main function. It always loop most of the time in sleep. So that's the only code that changed that much. Only like this, like 5 line of code if you plus the import thing. And yeah, so if you're gonna use this code, you're gonna change the channel ID on your own. and change your max result. I already explained it like 4 times on this, like we use this module that I make. And yeah, change it to your own channel ID, how many result, and your comments on here, message, nice video. And yeah, it will run like every day. So if you have question or like that, leave it on your Udemy, and I'm gonna run this thing right now so you can see the python main.py. I'm gonna get the authentication again, and yeah, it will auto comment there. Allow, and get your course, paste it on here. So starting comment and end the comment video. For that, I'm gonna go to my YouTube channel, and if I resume this, you're gonna get nice video, and yeah, so this is how you're gonna auto comment on that. And yeah, so everything is working fine. And yeah, so we comment that, we got that auto commenting. And yeah, so everything is working fine. So it will, like, if you see this, like, it's on sleeping mode. If you see the code on here on the top, it's timeout that it will 864 second is equivalent to 1 day. Okay, so if you see the calculator, 864 is equal to 24 hours. So this is the seconds, and it's equivalent for 1 day. And yeah, so it will comment every day. You should keep this on your AWS or Raspberry Pi running automatically. Just leave it like that, it will loop all day. And yeah, so we're done on this project number 2. It's kinda like shorter version anyway, like 40 line of codes, I guess. And yeah, see you on the next part. Okay, so this is the conclusion for this project. And like I already tell you that don't use this code, like don't abuse this. And like, for example, I'm gonna give you the best example for this. It's called the who is Benod or something like that. Like I hear this thing that they make 15 million of this, and who is Benod, how we create a viral meme. So they create a meme like on PewDiePie, like famous YouTuber, like they comment Binod on every single thing, and they make a trend or something. Okay, so why trending on YouTube? Because they spam the living shit out of YouTube, of the famous YouTuber out there. And yeah, so they milk this shit. Same on Evans. I should never say his name anyway. Evans. If you don't know what Evans do, like, you wanna be friends, like they must like nuclear nuke of an entire channel. You wanna be friends or something like that. They create this kind of trend or something like that. And yeah, so don't abuse the code, and like you can make your own trend or something that, or create own lure. And yeah, so don't try to abuse the YouTube API. So that's the conclusion for this. And I did not make this course to make like you can harass somebody or something. I did not promote that. It's only for educational purpose anyway. And yeah, so we're done on the second project. We're gonna make the last project. It's so very, the last project's gonna auto likes. And yeah, see you on the next part. And yeah, okay, so we're back on the tutorial. So we're gonna do the project number 3. So this is the last project we're gonna make. And yeah, let's just start it. So first, we're gonna copy our templates and 0, change that to your project, like project, and let's say auto likes, something like that. Auto likes, and on that, ls cd to that directory, auto likes, and ls, we're gonna touch main.py, ls, and yeah, let's just start it. So we're gonna go to our, okay, I'm gonna auto generate the code on my typewriter anyway. I'm gonna run this thing, and yeah, so we're gonna import our Google client, same mandatory thing, and we're gonna put our credential, client securitization. I already explained this thing, credential, YouTube build, B3 credential, like that. And yeah, so we're gonna like the 10 latest video of a channel. So you can specify how many results you want. So we want only 2, and you can go to the like 10 or 50. You can like 50 video of yours, and you can do that. And yeah, so the only line of codes that changed on this part is this part, the main function, and everything's are the same anyway. So the import that time, we import our time, so we're gonna sleep the program for 864 seconds. So 864 seconds is equivalent to 24 hours, and our like will be like sleep on that. It will run again, sleep, run again, sleep, run again. It will check the latest video. If your video already been liked, nothing will happen. If you if you're a YouTuber who like you upload 3 video a day, you can do that, change that to your max result. You can do that on here, or change it to your 2 days or 3 days, something like, I don't know your schedule anyway. I always upload 1 video per day. That's my rules, and I know that I'm gonna make 2 video per day. And yeah, so everything is done on here. We're gonna run this thing, and yeah, so you know what, let's run this thing. So I'm gonna change the code because I already like auto likes. Open that my notepad plus. Okay, so wait, opened it with notepad plus. Well, I'm gonna change this to 15. So I'm gonna like my 15 video, and you know what, not 15, let's say 20. And yeah, so I'm gonna close that, and I'm gonna run this code. So python main.py. So you're gonna get your authentication again, paste it on your URL. So before I run the code, so I'm gonna go to on here. So go to your hamburger, this one on YouTube and go to your likes. So this is all the video I like I already like most of the my video anyway. You know what, I'm gonna run the code. So I'm gonna run it, and yeah, so it's gonna put all the names of the video that been like Mr. Beast, PewDiePie, live count, and refresh it. Yeah, so yeah, I like my 20 video, and most of there are being liked, so that's why it never appear on here, but you get the point. So it will automatically like your channel latest video, and yeah, so it's working fine. You see this, you need to put this on your AWS or Raspberry Pi. I don't know what server you have, just put it out there, run it like every day. It's working fine. So get the video, channel max request, list, channel ID, max resort, order by date, and type video. So this request gonna get your latest video according to dates. That's why, yeah, very powerful code. And yeah, so see you on the next video. Just yeah, okay, so you finally come to the last video of this, and you can get the code on my GitHub. I'm gonna put it on the link anyway. And yeah, so if you like the course, leave a comment and rate it. Like if you have problem on the course, like I did not explain this concept or something like that, you can freely say it. And this is actually my first course on Udemy. Like I don't know what kind of approach I'm gonna do. Like I told you before we start that I don't want you to watch me writing this code, so that's why I make a kind of this thing. It will generate my coding type like that. It's kinda not get you bored anyway while explaining things. And yeah, so that's my approach anyway. Like I recreated one time, I created once, and I see like the video's getting longer, and I don't want you to watch like per video like 30 minutes, like for every 30 minutes explaining things. That's absolutely the bad way to make our course anyway. I don't want that to make, you can see that on YouTube anyway. Like they make like 20 minutes with part, like there's 50 part of that, how to make something like that, and they gonna make you to watch like 30 minutes they typing the code and explaining these things. I'm not gonna do that approach anyway. That's absolutely boring. And one last thing, I told you before we start this, don't abuse the YouTube API. So what you learn, this is for a educational purpose. Like I give you the example for that, the binode thing, and you want to be friends, or don't harass somebody on comment section, like spam it. Like if you have multiple Gmail account anyway, I did not promote that. I only make this course for a educational purpose. And yeah, so leave the ratings and what you don't like and what you don't like on the course. And yeah, so I need feedback anyway. Like this is my first course anyway. And yeah, see you on the next course. The next course gonna kind of different way. We're gonna build a, you know what, I'm gonna end it on, I'm gonna say what's the next course anyway. See you on the next course. And yeah, thank you for who buy the course anyway. You can get this for free if you want. And yeah, thank you who buy it.